Princess of 72nd Street by Eliane Kraf in ASMR form. Melita looked beautiful only when she had mononucleosis. She became slim with her whole body going together without lumps of fat or pimples, and her eyes became large and luminous. That is when Peter noticed her. This very same Peter who was turning the lump of meat over and over now tended to ignore Melita except when they had company. At that time, Peter used to go into the woods to shoot rabbits and ducks, which he painted in large, sure strokes so he was finished in time to eat them. He was known as the genius, the Manet of our entire group. No one ever else could paint so quickly, with each stroke being the right choice, like a miracle. One day, for no reason, Peter couldn't paint anymore. He couldn't remember how he had been doing it. He stopped hoping for it to come back and studied art history. Even now, he teaches courses in art history. His specialty is Vermeer. I don't know why. Vermeer has nothing to do with ducks or rabbits or even plums. No one ever mentions Peter's old paintings. Melita is self-conscious about painting in front of Peter, so she makes peculiar jewelry and secretly paints plums when they are in season. I suspect that Peter knows about it, but he never talks about it, at least not then. Peter couldn't stand the sight of a plum. Melita explained to me that she must be very careful because he can smell a plum miles away and breaks out in hives. They enjoy swimming in their pool. This is something else that I never understood. I think, in fact, that it is crazy, this moving back and forth in water, even though we are related to the fish in the embryonic stage. I still think it is unnecessary. I wanted them the morning after the barbecue. In the middle of the night, Peter had come into my bed. I told him that I loved Melita too much to do such a thing. It was easier that way. Peter sulked, but finally said that he understood. He understands nothing of my mercurial morality, nothing of my status of the Princess of 72nd Street, and nothing of the irrelevant fact that he repels me. The next morning he was holding Melita's wet body near the edge of the pool. I don't swim, just sit dangling my toes in the water. I was watching them swimming back and forth like crazy people, with their lips getting blue, both of them thinking there was something good in this. I tried to think of what else it could be. Gills, leg fins, primal slime, primeval slime, uric acid. Was there some sense of accomplishment they felt? Was it a purely physical sensation, or simply a habit? It certainly made them look ugly and goose-pimpled and blue-lipped and out of breath and wrinkled and pathetic. Sitting there and watching them, I unexpectedly got the radiance. My body felt light as a flower. My breathing itself gave me great pleasure, and my hair seemed to fly up and outward like wispy silk. I smiled and then laughed. Peter and Melita looked up and laughed also. Such musical sounds, little bells. I began to run around and around on the hot, dry grass and look straight up into the sun. The sun understands me. The sun is a wine fire with strange threads of blue. It roars its comprehension of everything I am. I knew that. Peter and Melita became two exotic, wet water flowers, simple and spreading out white petals. I embraced both of them. Neither of them liked this. They know me as someone who is not demonstrative. Peter muttered something about how the country air was doing me good, and Melita asked if I was hungry. People like to pretend that radiance is something else when they see it. I hardly heard them. I was leaping and singing and reciting poetry, the poetry of sun and fish fins and balloons. I jumped into the pool and lay there for a long time, smiling at the sun and letting the water fill my ears like it rushes into a seashell. I felt an obstruction and took off my bathing suit, letting it fall to the bottom. I am the water. I was aware of Peter and Melita, who were whispering to each other. Melita has always been angry because my body has no flabby parts and looks as young as it did when we were at art school, despite the aging of the internal organs. She took Peter into the house. I noticed these things from a distance as though they were part of a dream. Melita, a shape moving about, came near the pool with a purple towel in her hands. Everything Melita has is purple. Her dresses, towels, sheets, mascara, jewelry, shoes, bathing suit. I came right out and into the purple towel and said that I wanted to dance on the lovely wet grass. The grass, in one reality, is ugly and dry, burnt out, and hurts the naked feet. My feet were padded with velvet like hooves put on horses, so grass felt soft and wet. I danced away from the towel, and Melita, like a purple whale, was running after me. I thought it was a game and kept on laughing. Melita looked so large and beautiful with her towel. I must always live here, where the sun blooms and the water is purple and the streets are soft and the sun blows love upon both of you, and the red meat sizzles on flames, so I am not myself as you know me, but parts of the flame of the sun, which is also on the flame, shapes blades of grass, I said. They thought I had gone mad, I suppose, but I knew what was going on, and at the other level, sometimes I do. I just couldn't control my radiance, which was in my feet and breasts and head and thoughts. I knew that Peter was pacing back and forth, looking distraught. The day before, Melita had told me about his impotence. They were whispering about sunstroke. I knew that they would catch me like a butterfly and that I would be imprisoned, but I didn't mind, not even when they did it, scooping me up like a bird when it isn't looking. Melita made me lie on the bed and gave me aspirins and put a cold towel on my head. Melita doesn't like to take care of people. Peter called the doctor, who didn't want to come because it was Sunday. He was probably putting hooks into fish or swimming like a fish or planning a barbecue. He came. They must have told him something alarming or shocking to make him come on a Sunday. He gave me an injection of something to make me stop bothering everyone with my happiness, and then he asked me if some problem was upsetting me. I thought this was a funny question and just laughed. I tried to tickle him between the legs, and then the drug put me to sleep. That was one of my early attacks of radiance. The man I had come to the country to get away from, and who detested laughing and was appalled by radiance, came to take me away. Mistakenly, Melita and Peter had summoned him. We drove straight out of the country, right up to Bellevue. I thought Bellevue was beautiful, covered with green grass and full of lovely people. I tried to dance with the people on the grass. I told them how happy I was to be there with them and how happy we were to have the sun shining warmly on our fingertips. Some laughed or walked away or looked at me. An old man kept blowing up paper bags and then smashing them. I joined him and we both giggled. In a few days they took it from me. It was like a sudden shock, with the people looking sick and crying or screaming, the walls turning a dirty green color. The sun was gone, and I wanted to get out. It wasn't right. In my opinion, radiance is my own, my business, and too precious to part with in this world. And that was chapter 1 of The Princess of 72nd Street by Eliane Kraf. So, thanks for watching, and I will read the next chapter in the next video. Okay, bye.